Democrat for mayor of Harrisburg. Why are you running for this office?
I am running to be the next mayor for the city of Harrisburg because I believe that I can have more of an impact that I've been having previously from the work that I've been doing in our community as an activist. So now, entering the race, I believe that I can do even more for our city and community with more resources behind me.
And we'll talk more about your activism soon. But first, tell us about your personal history with the city of Harrisburg. I understand you were born there.
Yes, born and raised Harrisburg. I love Harrisburg. Harrisburg is a part of me. It's a part of my entire family's life. My history pretty much is, as you know, through incarceration, other things like that. I was a part of the problem in our city for years.
What kind of trouble did you get in? You mind telling us?
Drugs. I know that was the main one. Guns, having guns that I wasn't supposed to have at the age that I had it. So I was involved in a lot of the, like I said before, a lot of the no's that's going on today in our communities.
And how long were you incarcerated anyway?
So I came home 2017. I was incarcerated 13 years straight of my life. And
so you have a long time to think things over is what I'm getting at. What kind of things did you think about?
So my things was the role that I played in our communities in destroying it. And how can I pick it up and offer my assistance to others and show them, actually leading by example, and show them how we can do better in our communities and by the people in our communities by leading by example and showing positive rather than letting your past, dictate your future.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of influences shaped you as a young man that at least initially led you down the wrong path?
As a child, I experienced a lot. I've experienced many hardships from moving around, different family members, not having a stable home, and eventually
moving around Harrisburg.
Yes, always in Harrisburg, and not having a stable home, but eventually losing my brother in 1997, my younger brother, who was only a year and a few months younger than me. So that really gave me the initial goal to say, you know what, let's just try to do something different. Let's try to do more, and also help others where they may need help that's grieving, going through processes. So that's what fortunately gave me the mission to move forward and try to push Harrisburg forward along with me. Now,
what happened to your brother? You mind telling us? Did he come to a violent end?
Yes. See, my brother was involved with a friend of his, had a firearm, and they were sitting on someone's porch in Hall Manor. Sitting on someone's porch, and they end up playing with the gun. The gun goes off, and my brother gets shot in his face. So, at my age then, I was only 16, about to turn 17. That was kind of bad on me, and I took it the wrong way. I didn't know how to communicate. So without knowing how to communicate, it leads to anger, depression, and then if you don't know the ways to go about certain things, it leads to violence. And in those communities, that's what it leads to. It leads to the wrongdoing. So I wanted to play a major role in changing that narrative. Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
So let's talk about the things you observed in Harrisburg that you felt would have to be priorities for you that would lead to this campaign for mayor.
Yes, number one priority, I feel as though is public safety. In order to have a bigger impact on certain things that goes on in our community, I believe, though, we need to start inside of our communities first when addressing issues, but at the same time, we need to hold those elected officials accountable for things that, just pretty much bring it back to what we're in it for. We work for the people, we are by the people, and we want City of Harrisburg to move forward. So public safety is always number one to me. And trying to stop the violence that's going on in our communities and build the bridge that is separated the community and the police in the city of Harrisburg. So my thing with that is to build that bridge, build the bridge back up where so we can have that communication and trust with our officers and those inside of the communities. Because I feel as though if we build that trust, it goes a long way with public safety and a lot can be accomplished.
How would you characterize the relationship between Harrisburg law enforcement and the citizens of Harrisburg?
To be honest, I believe that it's rocky. It's a little bit, there's no trust there whatsoever. And I'll say that, not saying that any officers or like all officers are wrong. That's never the issue. But as we know now and today, birds of a feather, they say flock together, right? And it's not all the officers, but a few of the officers that do a lot of wrong will make the whole entire force seem that way. And then it'll make the community seem as though all police are, wrong. And that's just not the case. So I want to be a part of helping shine that light.
Now, as far as reducing gun violence goes, I would expect that is important to you, given what happened to your brother.
Yes.
What do you think we should do? What should Harrisburg do?
I believe Harrisburg, and I will speak on behalf of, as the community first, I believe that we need to address issues differently than what we've been doing. Mm-hmm. I think that we need to figure out a way where we can bring all of those in any type of seat or any elected official, bring them together where we can get the concerns from our community and voice our concerns, and we bring it all together and try to figure out the best way, the best option for us to go moving forward in our city.
I was looking at your website before this interview, and I noticed that you hold the unofficial title of street mayor.
Yes.
So what does that say about you?
I take pride in it. I believe that it speaks volumes, because to be considered as the street mayor, that's something that doesn't rarely come around.
Sounds like you're almost the counterpoint to the official mayor. Right. That's what I get out of it.
Without all the resources or benefits behind me. See, I get that title because I'm always active inside of the community. If there's a shooting that occurs, I'll be right there. If there's a family that's grieving, I'll be right there. And just not long ago, I made a post, and I just spoke with a brother named Cameron of mine. I made a post bringing two families together. One was a victim, and one was the accused side of the family. So I brought them together, whereas though that they could still talk it out and still have a relationship, no matter, because at the end of the day, both families are, experiencing hurt or losing someone. So that's the title street mayor is major to me.
Now, when you got incarcerated as a young man, how did that interfere with your life at the time? In other words, had you been through high school yet?
Yes, I went through high school, but ended up getting incarcerated, and I took my GED from back then. I got a GED in Camp Hill. So, that's pretty much what happened as far as me being incarcerated. I ended up doing a lot of time, 13 years straight to be exact.
And when you got out of prison, were you able to pursue education? Did you have the desire to pursue any higher education even?
No, my desire was to do whatever it takes to ensure that my community is moving forward, and that my experiences that I had, I was able to teach and show other youth why they shouldn't follow the same path that I chose and where it would land them. So now what I try to do is show them, lead by example, that your past doesn't have to dictate your future.
Now, we're going to get more into the issues and the positions you have in Harrisburg. But first, I do want to hear more about your community activism. And I know you founded a nonprofit to honor your brother. And what is that named, and what has it accomplished? What do you hope to accomplish? Michael's
Memory Push. That's the name of the organization I started on behalf of my brother. And my expectations are very high. Sky is the limit. I just pray that I'm able to touch more families and more children than I've ever been able to touch in my life, even if it's one more, and I show someone that, by my experiences and by losing someone, that I can help them change the direction if they were going in a dark space, to help them out. And I think that's the main goal.
I understand you've mentored at-risk teens to prevent them from dropping out of school.
Yes.
So give me an example, a message that you've tried to deliver to these kids.
So I'm often in schools, Harrisburg High, Still High, even elementary schools. And
they invite you there, huh?
Yes. So what I try to do is I give the kids, I use my past, I use a story, and try to show them that, again, your past doesn't have to dictate your future. You should always try to help another person out and push them in a better direction, show them a better version or push them to being a better version of themselves that they've been in the past previously. So that's one of the messages that I do give them. And if they're grieving or going through anything, there's always the option to pick up a phone or pull somebody to the side and speak with them, because there's always going to be someone there to help you out.
Do you do a give and take with these kids? Do you encourage them to ask questions?
Yes, of course. Yes.
What are some of the recurring questions that you just know are going to come up and then you're ready with a good answer?
That's a tough one because there's so many. There's so many questions that I get. How were you able to still be in jail, come home and help, still be focused, even though sometimes it's rough. When you first come home, you don't have any finances for real. So it's hard getting a job. So one thing that I tell them is you have to stay patient, and you always have to trust in God, and you always have to stay focused and work. If you need to talk to somebody, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because help is there free.
When you got out, did you go home to a mom and dad?
No, I haven't had, I have my father and my mother still, thankfully, they're in my life strong. So, but back in my younger years, I didn't have my mother and my father together in the family home. It was just my mother. But that was due to my father having drug addictions, my mother having drug addictions. But now today, by the glory of God, they're strong, off of drugs, living a straight life and very productive.
They still in Harrisburg?
Yes, they are.
I understand that you've helped increase awareness of mental health resources. And a lot of people talk about mental health, especially in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. What do you have to say about that?
I take pride in it. And speaking to different people, different family members that may be going through things, and I won't even exempt myself from that, myself included, but I got to tell myself, just like I tell everybody else, if you can get up, look yourself in the mirror, be blessed, be thankful. Now, if you need someone to speak with and talk to, we're always open to talk and communicate. I wouldn't care if it's 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. My phone is always available. Even with a family and a 2-year-old beside me, my phone's available. So, and I also advise them to reach out to different doctors or anybody that can give them any type of help. That's always number one.
You getting any feedback on your efforts there? You know, Tone, you really helped me with something.
Yes, I do. I get a lot of feedback. And just not long ago during my campaign kickoff, we had a mother come through that actually I've helped her son and helped her out along the way through a lot. He was facing, difficult times in his life and ended up changing it around.
Now let's dig into the Harrisburg issues more, Tone. Now we already noted that you said you'd like to improve the relations between the police department and Harrisburg residents. And I was looking at your website, and it said that you're running to bring meaningful change to Harrisburg. So just where do you start then? Is it with police relations or something else?
I believe it's with the community and education, all types of programs. I believe it starts with the youth first. So that's always my main goal, youth empowerment, more educational programs, more things for the youth to do inside of our communities, because what I see now, a problem that's in Harrisburg, is the ages is getting younger and younger. The problems arise and the ages are going down that's involved with the problems. So I feel as though we need to attack it from the source, not just the children, but the parents as well. So yes, that's...
What's to be said to parents as far as making sure their kids are on the right road?
Speak to your parents. Speak to the parents. Parents need to speak to their children.
Yeah, what can they do? They must be looking for signs with their kids.
So watch daily. If, I can give you an example. Me as a parent, I will watch my child, even if he thinks I'm not watching my child. I'll watch my child and I'll be able to tell if they're moving differently. I will still be going in their room, because at the end of the day, if they're under my roof, they're in my home. I'll go in their rooms and I'll check. If there's something out of order, something that doesn't look right, we need to question our children and watch the company that they're keeping, because in most cases, that boils down to the bottom line. The company that you keep, you're usually birds of a feather flock together. So that's what should make you pay more attention to your children. So mothers and fathers, I believe we need to pay more attention to our children.
And this is how you do things in your house and your kids manage?
Yes. Actually, I could speak about my son. See, I like to use real life issues, and I don't like to, like, move away from the issues that we all face, even myself included. I have a son, 20 years old now. He's the third, actually, Tone Cook the third.
Tone the third.
So he just moved out of Harrisburg to Atlanta. He was troubled, going through juvenile. He was going through many different things, probation, a lot. So being consistent is major. I was consistent. And thanks to his mother, she moved him out of Harrisburg. He's working, got his own apartment now, no longer involved in any problems. So I believe on a personal, I believe I'm doing a great job with my own children. So I feel as though I can send a message to another parent what needs to be done or what I think needs to be done.
A lot of big cities have problems with their housing situation. How are things in Harrisburg as far as availability of housing and access to it?
As far as the housing in Harrisburg, to be honest, there's a lot that I can't speak on, but there's a lot that I can speak on. I'm very active when it comes to even with the Harrisburg Housing Authority inside of Hall Manor, Hoover Homes, Allison Hill. I'm always active in the problems that we're facing, and it's the waiting list has always been very long in Harrisburg, and it's a lot of complaints that come from our residents. So what I do is try to contact the Harrisburg Housing Authority and work out issues that they may face with those in position in Harrisburg Housing Authority. And to be honest, we do accomplish quite a few things for the residents in the city. But moving forward, I would like to be more of an impact in bringing more change to our city as far as the housing goes, because a lot of people aren't satisfied with how things are going.
Let's talk about businesses in Harrisburg and just overall, especially since the pandemic. What is the temperature of business generally in Harrisburg?
Yes, well, I believe business in Harrisburg has decreased, a lot. So,
can you trace it back to recovering from the pandemic?
No, I can't. But I can say after the past few years, our businesses have been failing. Failing at an all-time high. There's nothing staying open. So I feel as though in order to move forward, now I have a few ideas, but I'll just elaborate like a couple of things that I believe will help. We have to be consistent. It wouldn't take a lot of money. It takes better communication, and it takes more communication with those business owners as well as the elected officials inside of our city coming together and coming up with, some type of ideas and conclusions whereas though we can do moving forward to push our city forward and uplift our businesses in our communities.
How about attracting new businesses? Is there anything Harrisburg can offer and make someone tempted to relocate in Harrisburg?
Yes, I believe Harrisburg has a lot to offer. We are the capital, but I believe that Harrisburg has a lot to offer, especially with the attraction. Now, there's a lot of things we can do, like as far as downtown goes, 2nd Street. That's our main attraction in the city. I don't want to say too many ideas.
It's not what it used to be, though, right?
It's far from what it used to be. So I believe that I can bring that back. I believe that with that communication,
This is Restaurant Row, we're saying for the benefit of our statewide viewers.
Yeah, for the statewide viewers. So I believe that there's a lot that could be done to move our city forward. And I believe that the communication is always first with the business owners and elected officials inside of our city. So I will not go outside of that until that's taking place, but I do have a lot of plans to move our city forward.
Now let's take a look at some of the responsibilities of being mayor. And after all, you got to manage budgets. And are you prepared to do that, or how much experience do you have in that area?
See, the word is that I don't have enough experience, but I question what is enough experience. Now, through my life, I have real life experiences, but the things that I lack, there's always what you call a team. There's always what you call a team. So what I intend to do is, what I have done is, built the team around me, whereas though I make the decisions, but we come together as a team and figure out what's best for the people and what's best for the city of Harrisburg moving forward. So the decisions will not be all on me. It'll be based on the team. So that's how I plan to move forward with policy and everything else.
How prepared are you to work with city council? For starters, have you attended some of their meetings?
Yes. As a community activist, that's one thing that I specialize in. So I've been attending not only city council meetings, I've been attending school board meetings. I attend the meetings that should be attended in our community, whereas though a lot of people are missing. So I'll make sure I'm there to stand for not only the people, but for the city of Harrisburg.
So you have at least a rough idea of how city council
Yes,
works.
of course.
So you would have some knowledge of how to work with them.
Yes. Actually, also, I've been out helping with so much. I mean, like elected officials, and I could mention one, Senator Patty Kim, Senator Miss Patty Kim, Ralph Rodriguez, City Council, good friend of mine. We've been partnering and working side by side for a long time. So City Council, I'm definitely looking forward to working with.
So let's talk about the task that is going to be in front of voters and you
Yes.
in May, which is the primary. And so let's start with the incumbent mayor, Wanda Williams. And
Yes.
she is running for re-election in this primary.
Yes.
Now tell me, how would you rate her performance?
I'll just say this much. With Wanda Williams, I believe that she just served, her term, and I feel as though that it's time for new leadership. And at the end of the day, it all goes back to what the community wants, what the people want, because at the end of the day, we work for them, and the decision that they make, that's who they want in office. We have to stand by it. But I will say with Wanda Williams, Miss Mayor Wanda Williams, is that, all respect to her, but I think it's time for a change.
Now, come the primary, it's kind of a crowded field of Democrats for the
Yes.
mayor of Harrisburg. It's 5 Democrats total. So
Yes.
right away, how can you separate yourself from the herd, so to speak?
I believe I've already separated myself from them. So I believe that the action put in over the years, my heart, my tears, the standing in the rain, standing with families and funerals, children crying on my shoulders, my phone going off all through the night, even though I have a 2-year-old son beside me. I believe that separates me from everybody else because I've been putting in the work and showing my emotions and my care, not only for the people, but for the city of Harrisburg.
Have you met the other Democrats? Any plans for debates, for instance?
Yes, I have met them. I honestly don't plan for debates. I just go by where God leads me to go. And if I feel as though it's something that's necessary, then I would do it. Have I met them? Yes. I just actually spoke with Dan Miller, Mr. Butts. I spoke with Lamont Jones, even Wanda Williams. So I just feel as though I don't hold any type of grudges or anything like that. What I do think is that they're all on a mission trying to, I guess do something better for the city. But I just feel as though in my heart, I know what I want to do for the city, and I've been showing it, so I feel as though it's my time.
So let's talk about the style or the goals of your campaign. What's your strategy for getting the word out?
I believe that's also a benefit, and also something that we've had, we have the privilege to be active with people, because it's something that I've been doing. I've been active with people. I've been in the communities, and so the support comes from the city. The support comes from the people in our communities that know me in our communities. And I've been there in support of them. They're in there in support of me, because not only am I pushing for change, they're pushing for the same things.
Now, you said you've been active with people, and that leads me right into my next question, which is about Harrisburg residents. It sounds like you get around and meet a lot of people.
Yes.
So what do they want or expect from you as mayor if you win?
They want me to do everything that I've been doing, but with more resources behind me. They want me to add on to what we can do for our children inside of our city and our communities to keep them from getting involved in a lot of negativity that they're facing when they walk outside of their doors. Not only that, they know what I've been doing previously from my work, even when you speak about businesses. Without any funding from anyone, I've been doing it on my own, and I've been organizing and bringing people together as one, as a community, bringing people together, business owners, young entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, and I've been hosting different events for them, and they see everyone that comes in, they benefit. No one leaves out without having benefited, not only like financially, but they build different relationships together. So that's even when it comes to the business aspect of things and bringing businesses up, it's something that I've been doing.
So talk about the challenges in this campaign. Is this the first time you've run for elected office?
Yes.
So what have you learned so far? Any tough lessons you care to share?
Yes. So one thing about me, I'm not afraid to bite my tongue. And that's something I will take with me as being the next mayor. I won't leave that out. So yes, there's a lot of things that I have to overcome. Some things that were said, some things are said about me, directed towards me, family members. So it's a lot of dirt.
Said by the other candidates?
Said by candidates, people of this, some community members. But I feel as though politics shouldn't be the way that it is. And this is another thing that I want to change, because politics should be about encouraging the children, encouraging those in our communities to want to do and step up to be the next leaders in our communities. But when we get to this level of trying to do things moving forward, there's those that tell you to, move forward and try to be a part of change, be a part of your local elections. But at the same time, when they see the ones that they trust going, doing the things, the work that it takes, they're getting kicked back down by the same ones that tell them to come on, of this is what we need to do. So it's kind of hurtful at the same time. And it is just not showing that we're leading by example. So that's what I try to do. I lead by example and leave all the disrespect to the side.
We have about 2 minutes left in our program, so use that remaining time, please, and tell Harrisburg voters why they should vote for you in the primary.
I believe you should vote for me in the primary because I am from the city of Harrisburg, and I am someone who has been honestly putting in the work. And, I wear my heart on my sleeve because I trust my community, and I would do anything in my power to ensure that our community is built back up and that the trust is built back up between all civilians of Harrisburg, PA. And I will promise you to continue to do the work that I've been doing with more resources behind it and more impact on our city to move it forward.
Tone Cook, Democrat for Mayor of Harrisburg, thank you for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you for that.